75 years. Yup, 75 years. It's a long time. People usually live an entire lifetime in 75 years. The mantle passes on from one generation to the other in 75 years. Countries, borders, people, communities, they can all change in 75 years. What was not supposed to change, however, was Japan's defense outlook. Actually, people did not expect it to change, ever. Japan has been committed to pacifism, non-violence, non-use of force for 75 years since the Second World War. The past 75 years convinced everyone that Japan was a defensive and non-conflict seeking country. It had been bombed with a dirty bomb. It saw the most horrifying aspects of war up close and personal. The world sympathized with Japan's position and understood where Japan's pacifism was coming from. It did not want to do to others what had happened to it. But times change. China has risen as a blood-baying bully in the Indo-Pacific. And Taiwan is China's immediate target. And so, the calm, composed, and measured Japan has risen too. It is abandoning its pacifism, and it is ready to fight it out with China. If a brawl is what China wants, a jaw-breaking war is what it will get. The new Japan has arrived, and it has recognized Taiwan as a country which is not a part of China. Hi, and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Shubhangi, and in this video I will tell you how China's soul has been shaken by one decisive move by Japan. Let's begin. Japan has dumped the much-touted One China policy. The statement coming out of Tokyo is loud, clear, and resounding. Taiwan is not a part of China, plain and simple. It is a free, sovereign, and democratic country which China cannot lay claim upon. The Yoshihide Suga administration of Japan has communicated this to the world with the release of an annual defense white paper in which Taiwan has for the first time not been portrayed as a part of the People's Republic of China. In previous defense white papers, Japan showed Taiwan as a part of China. Instead, Taiwan has been included in Part 1, Chapter 2, Section 3 of Relations between the United States and China, etc. chapter. Although the focus is on the current situation of deepening US-China antagonism, the introduction to Taiwan's military situation has also been incorporated into this section. In this year's white paper, Taiwan is completely grayed out from the map of China and its combat theater commands. In the annual defense white paper of this year, Japan's defense minister said, "Stabilizing the situation surrounding Taiwan is important for Japan's security and the stability of the international community." Taking an alarmist approach, rightfully so, the report added, "Therefore, it is necessary that we pay close attention to the situation with a sense of crisis more than ever before." Taiwan has welcomed Japan's move to dump the One China policy and instead portray the island nation as an entity separate and free from China. Taiwan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs welcomed the changes to the white paper by thanking Japan's Defense Ministry for highlighting the importance of stabilizing the situation surrounding Taiwan and paying close attention to the situation with a sense of crisis more than ever before. The white paper showing Taiwan as a separate country comes in the backdrop of Japan's Deputy Prime Minister Taro Aso saying a Chinese attack on Taiwan would threaten Japan's survival, necessitating a collective defense of the island nation with US forces. In response to the release of the historic report, a spokesman for China's foreign ministry said China is strongly dissatisfied with the report, calling it extremely wrong and irresponsible. China, meanwhile, has also been threatening Japan with a nuclear war. Recently, the Financial Times reported that Japanese authorities, increasingly worried about China's determination to invade and forcibly reunify Taiwan, asked American officials to share US plans for defending Taiwan. According to the Financial Times, Japanese leaders apparently have resigned themselves to war in the event China invades Taiwan. The effective departure of Japan from the One China policy comes from the country's State Minister of Defense, Yasuhide Nakayama, questioned whether many countries' decisions, including that of Japan's and the United States, to pursue a One China policy would stand the test of time. Meanwhile, Japan's activism is already bearing results. Reported by TFI, Chinese military activity in Taiwan's air defense identification zone has decreased dramatically since the US and Japanese leaders advocated for peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait during their April 16 meeting. Between January 1st and April 16, China deployed 75 military aeroplanes into Taiwan's air defense identification zone, a rate of approximately 70%. The frequency and scale of Chinese incursions substantially fell after Japan and the United States took a tough stand in favor of Taiwanese independence and sovereignty. In fact, in another move which hurts China's ego over the One China policy, Taiwanese authorities confirmed on Saturday that Audrey Tang, Taiwan's digital minister, will travel to Japan for the Tokyo Olympics opening ceremony on July 23rd. By ditching the One China policy, Japan has pressed China's rawest nerve. Meanwhile, Tokyo has conveyed to the world that the time to defend Taiwan with military force is here.